If you've been to Nashville, chances are you've crossed paths with their legendary hot chicken. If not, you're seriously missing out. It's crispy, fiery, loaded with flavor, and spicy enough for revenge, but more on that later. For now, I've got a few pro-level tips to make it even better. Let's kick things off with the chicken. Sound good? Let's cook. A classic Nashville hot chicken uses all 8 pieces from a whole chicken: the wings, thighs, drums, and breasts. Now this one is about 3.5 to 4 pounds, and if you want to know how to break it down, check out my Greek chicken. The advantage of using a whole chicken, you get a carcass, which you should make chicken stock from. But of course, if you don't want to do that, no problem. Prefabricated, packaged up thighs or drums will absolutely work. Or you could go all breast meat, which is only what my wife and daughter eat. Super boring and flavorless. I said what I said. Now traditionally in this recipe, all you would do is add all the parts to a dish and season it with salt and pepper and dry brine it covered in the fridge overnight. But for my first tip, I think we can do one better with a wet buttermilk brine. So in a large bowl, pour in 1.5 cups of full-fat buttermilk. The lactic acid in the buttermilk will help break down and tenderize the chicken. Next, a 1/4 cup of distilled vinegar, which you could actually sub with pickle juice if you want. Next, a few dashes of hot sauce, which is about 1 tablespoon. Then I'm going to finely grate 5 cloves of garlic right into the bowl. Finally, I'm going to season it well with 2 teaspoons of coarse salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Give it a whisk and hey, give it a try. It should be ridiculously flavorful. Super easy way to take this chicken to the next level. You've got this. Alright, at this stage, add the chicken to the bowl and use your hands and get in there and thoroughly mix everything to get those flavors marrying. Then, cover it with plastic before marinating. For me, I'm going in the fridge overnight or about 16 to 18 hours. If you have the time, do it. They'll be that much better. Now the next day, when you're ready to make them, pull the chicken from the fridge and let it sit at room temperature to take the chill off, while we make a few more things. Set the chicken to the side, and we're getting super close to making probably the crunchiest, most delicious chicken of all time. But first, the breading. I like to use cake tins for this, but hey, any shallow wide bowl is great. In the first bowl for the dredge, I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, then 1.5 cups of cornstarch. This is what will help create a crispier, lighter, less oily coating. Then for a little secret to make the breading puff up even more, 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Now let's not forget about those seasonings: 1 tablespoon of garlic granules, 1 tablespoon of onion granules, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika, 2 teaspoons of coarse salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. Using a whisk or a fork, mix everything together until combined. Now for the wash. In a separate cake tin, I'm adding in 5 large eggs, then 1 cup of buttermilk. Don't forget to season that up with 1 teaspoon of coarse salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. Just like the breading, whisk the eggs until smooth like making scrambled eggs. The egg wash shouldn't be too thin and not too thick, maybe just a hair thinner than crepe batter. Okay, it's almost cooking time, but first I'm going to start to heat up the oil for frying. I've got a 5-quart enameled pot which I'm going to fill halfway with oil. Now any neutral flavored oil works. And for my tip number 2, I'm adding in about a cup of lard, or rendered strained bacon fat will also work. This will help create a crispier, browner coating and of course help to make it more flavorful. And no matter if it's this recipe or other recipes that have extra ingredients like pork lard or even beef tallow, I mean, those are nice to haves. I promise you, if you just have oil, this will still be absolutely delicious. Don't sweat it, you're gonna be good. Let's start heating it up, so boost it up to medium-low, medium-ish. We want to get it to 350, and I'll explain why that's the perfect temp. But for now, let's get starting on that breading process. We're going to take the chicken from the bowl to the dredge, then to the wash, then back to the dredge, then to rest. Got it? Good. Take 1 piece of chicken at a time from the buttermilk brine, drain off any excess, then right into the seasoned flour. Press down on the chicken from all sides to make sure it's coated. Shake off any excess. Now, for my favorite tip, tip number 3, we're going back over to the egg wash, coated on all sides, completely covering the flour in the whisked eggs. Now drain off any excess like before, and back to dredging in the flour, pressing down to completely cover it. The extra layer of washed and seasoned flour adds another layer of breading to seriously make it insanely crunchy. You're going to want to just eat the breading by itself. It is that good. It's an easy process that I 100% have faith in you that you can do it. Now set them to the side on a rack to rest for up to 20 minutes while you repeat the process. Now this part is actually my fourth tip because as it sits, it allows the breading to set, which will contribute to it being crispier. Chicken that's just too crispy and just too flavorful. What's not to love? Now don't worry if you see a few wet spots coming through on the breading. It literally means nothing, I promise you, and I'll prove it to you in a second, but first, let's get these over to the cooktop and see where the oil's at. I want it at 350 degrees F because once that cold breaded up chicken hits the oil, it's going to immediately drop the heat to 325, which is where I actually want to fry them at. And I'm going to cook 2 to 3 breaded up chicken pieces at a time, and here's another reason I'm frying it at 325 degrees F. The breasts are going to take 10 to 12 minutes to cook, while all the other bone-in pieces like drums and thighs are going to take about 16 to 18 minutes until they're done cooking. That's a little bit longer than, say, just a plain old tender. We don't want it to brown too quickly. Now, while the chicken breasts are done around 165 F internally and dark meat around 175 F, it's cool if you tempt them and pull them a few degrees under because, hey, they'll continue to cook as they sit outside of the oil. Now, because these take a bit of time, I usually flip them over halfway through the cooking process, and to ensure they stay crispy and don't overcook, after I'm done with them, I place them on a rack over a sheet tray, and then I put them on a middle rack in the oven at like 200 to 225 degrees F. Then, back to fry up everything in batches. So, about getting some revenge with this chicken. Back in the day, a guy named Thornton Prince had two loves, fried chicken and staying out too late. After one wild night, his lady cooked up a little revenge. Fried chicken loaded with fiery cayenne. I'm talking scorch your soul spicy. But here's the twist. He loved it. So much that her punishment chicken became the recipe behind what we now know as Nashville Hot Chicken. And from there, he opened up Barbecue Chicken Shack, the first of its kind. That same spot lives on today as the iconic Prince's Hot Chicken Shack, and it's still run by the Prince family. So yeah, sometimes revenge isn't cold. It's hot, crispy, and downright delicious. Okay, back over to the chicken, and we're so close to finishing up that last batch, but first, let's not forget about that coveted sauce. Classically, lard would be used, or some strained frying oil, or a combo of both, but for me, I'm sorry. Butter is where it's at. And that's my last tip, tip number 5. So in a small size saucepan over low heat, add in 2 sticks of unsalted butter. Then 2 to 6 tablespoons of cayenne, depending on how little or how much you like spice. I go with 3 tablespoons here, and to offset some of that heat, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, then 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic granules, 2 teaspoons of onion granules, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 2 teaspoons of salt. No need for pepper, obviously. Mix everything together until the butter is melted, and be sure to give it a try. Dang tasty. And just the right amount of spice for me. Okay, let's take it off the heat, pull out the chicken, and we're almost ready to plate this up. But first, a super important part to the undercarriage of this dish, the bread. I've got a great homemade white bread recipe if you want to go that route, or if you're looking to even curb some more of that heat, go with some brioche. It's a nice, sweet, spicy combo. Now for me, I'm a traditionalist, so I'm taking a big old Texas toast style slice. Now at this stage, generously brush the fried chicken on all sides with that butter spicy goodness. And I'll show you one of my favorite ways to eat this, but first place the bread on a plate, top it off with your favorite fried chicken cut, and hey, why not some more sauce here, huh? Then finish it off in very classical tradition with some sliced pickles. The bread soaks up all that chicken deliciousness, which is awesome for eating, and in case you're wondering, the chicken is just too juicy and just too crisp. But for an amazing way to serve this up, I like a toasted bun with mayo, a crispy hot chicken piece, my vinegar coleslaw recipe, some bread and butter pickles, and come on now. Either way, that's a winner. And if you're looking for one of the South's all-time greats, my gumbo has your name on it. I break it all down in a great video. I'll see you there. I mean, oh my gosh.